I'm having to sit on a pillow, otherwise it's too painful. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. So, it's lockdown number 2 here in France. Yay! For some reason I was the only one not seeing it coming. I think I was way too hopeful that it was not going to happen to see it coming. But it did. I'm pretty sure we're going to be staying in lockdown for longer than planned. They had said like it's going to be like just for a month and we're going to check in every 2 weeks, but I'm pretty sure they're going to extend it until nearly maybe Christmas, maybe even over Christmas. They've already said that Christmas this year is going to be different, but I don't really see them lifting lockdown just before Christmas because everybody's going to be rushing to buy Christmas presents and there's going to be even more people inside like stores. So I don't know, but at the same time people need to buy Christmas gifts. I don't know. So yeah, I think 2 weeks ago maybe, Naomi Smart on YouTube, she did a video about like her lockdown 2.0 promises to herself. Basically she listed things that she learned from the first lockdown that she needs to do or to change up for her mental health and physical health, and I thought it was a really interesting and great idea because I think we've learned a lot from the first one, and to be honest my life hasn't really changed much since the first one. I'm still staying at home as much as possible. I just started like working from a coffee shop a few weeks ago just before lockdown was announced again, but before that I was at home. I'm at home all the time and I haven't changed my life that much, but I thought it was a great time to kind of see what I've been doing wrong for the first lockdown and what I can change, and things that I've been wanting to implement, things I wanted to change up recently, and I was like, and I just think that now was the time to do it. So even if you're not in lockdown, if you're just like self-quarantining, or you have been your life has changed since the pandemic started, you know, I feel like we all need to change sometimes, but we don't have to wait for like January 1st to have kind of resolutions or to want to change things up. So like we're doing it. we're trying to change things up over here. So what I've done, so I've actually already wrote a few things down. So we're just going to go through them, and by the way, if you have any ideas, anything that have been working for you, do put them in the comments, because I read so many comments on Naomi's video and they were so nice and helpful, and you know, everyone has different ways of doing things and different ideas, and it can be really helpful. So first one is to move every day. I didn't do that for the first lockdown. I forced myself to go run. I didn't like it, but also at that point we didn't have masks, so going outside, because in France like all the masks were to go to hospitals and stuff like that, we couldn't really get any. And the ones that I have right now, I don't use like single-use masks. My mom made us a ton of them, so I just wash them and use them again and again, and it's much better. But now we also have single-use masks sold. But yeah, at that point we didn't have that, so going outside was very scary. We didn't know anything about the virus, and so yeah, I didn't really go outside that much, even though it was spring then and now it's like fall. But now I've been really noticing that every time I go on walks, every time I'm outside, I feel so much better afterwards. It's really like therapeutic for me to be outside and to be, you know, in the real light of the sun, even if the sun is not shining, and to just move my body, even if it's just walking, like just not rushing or anything. It's just so much better for me. And same with Pilates. I have a lot of back issues and I'll talk about that later, but I can only do like very low impact workouts, and Pilates is so good for it. So I think implementing this routine of either going for a walk or just doing Pilates at home, or even better, doing both every day could really help me to feel better and more positive, and to clear my mind as well. Second thing is to do things because of how they make me feel and not for a specific result. And that's specifically, I thought about that for workouts. For the first lockdown, I went for runs. I forced myself to go for runs because I was so afraid of gaining weight. I have issues with body image and I'm working on that. And so right now I'm like, you're not going to do that right now. You're going to move your body because it makes you feel great. It makes you feel better, and not just because you're afraid to gain weight again. So yeah, I just like that. And also whatever I'm doing else, I just want to think about how it makes me feel and not the end result. Another thing is to incorporate daily meditation and or journaling. We've talked about journaling with my therapist a few times. It's still something that I'm having a hard time doing, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I think journaling will really help me to force myself to word my thoughts and my feelings and to really get it out. And especially in quarantine, in lockdown, like you don't have a lot of people to talk to physically, so just having this go out into the world on paper and just like releasing the negative thinking can really help. And meditation can really help me to focus on positive thinking, on how I'm feeling really, and on working through my feelings and my thoughts. And I think it really will help me to also to work on my thought patterns outside of therapy, because I'm obviously doing it in therapy and we're working on that, but if I really do it as well in my personal life, I will see better results, and I think it will really help. And to go hand in hand with that is to have more moments of gratitude. Jen M, in her video, it's like the title in it, there is repetition is key, and that's actually the moment that she talks about it. She had like a gratitude journal, and she says that yes, oftentimes it's the same thing that she's grateful for, but she works on like the wording of it, and also the fact that she repeats oftentimes the same things. It really helps her to like believe it and to really focus on it, and it sinks in more because it's repetitive. It's like the same for everything basically, but I feel like by having these moments of just being grateful for whatever I am that day, and the same things, I will be able to be more focused on that and not think about what this situation is preventing me from doing. The next thing is, it's kind of basic, but it's to start the week by planning. And I always have a ton of to-do lists. I love lists, but I feel like starting each Monday with a list for the week really helped me mentally, because I have so many thoughts all the time. I'm always thinking about, you have to do that and then that and then that, and by the end of it I've forgotten to write anything down, and I'm just like, I forgot what I had to do. So I have a big list that I kind of put everything in, but by putting things to do for each day will really help me to feel like I have achieved a lot that day, by having everything ticked off, but also by not putting too much on certain days and not enough on others, just to get a bit more balance in my days, but also to be kinder to myself and to accept when I don't feel good and need time off. I'm still trying to be flexible and to be in tune with my feelings and how I am. That's something that I really struggled with during the first lockdown. I forced myself for a long time to try to be productive when I was not okay. And then I had to stop, and I just went into a huge time of not being able to do anything because I was feeling so bad. So I just don't want to do that time. I'm just going to try to really accept my feelings, and that's something that we've been working on with my therapist, is for me to accept things how they are and not try to be different or act different if it's not something that is helpful for me. And usually when I don't feel good, I'm like, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, and I'm trying really hard to be like, okay, so you're feeling very anxious today, you're having a lot of negative thinking, so if there's nothing you can do about it, just go ahead and stop what you're doing or watch an episode of the TV show that you're watching right now, or just go play The Sims for an hour, and we'll see after. I'm really working on that, so I feel like putting it on the list will really help me to do that and to accept it as well. The next thing is to talk to someone every day. Lockdown is a funny thing. You feel so isolated, you feel so alone, and at the same time it's really hard to reach out. I'm not the biggest fan of talking on the phone or anything like that, just because I talk a lot, and my friends and I talk a lot, my family and I talk a lot, so it can last for a long time. But what we've been doing with my friend Lori, she's also working from home, of course, during the lockdown. So pretty much every day we send each other voice messages so that we can hear each other's voice and, you know, like the tone and how we're saying things. And it feels like we're more together, and at the same time we're sharing how we're feeling, what's been going on, and it's really helping us to stay connected in a way. And so I really want to make sure that I do that every day and check in with my family, and we just send each other snaps. My sister sends me snaps of her dog, and I miss him so much already. And you know, my mom sends me photos of the garden and stuff like that, and my dad of what he cooks. And I know it's like social media and apps and the online world can be a very positive thing if you really help it too. Which leads to my other point, which is to disconnect from social media when I feel like it's needed. And especially for me, it's when I'm not doing okay. It's I'm comparing myself to everyone, and I'm comparing myself to how I'm feeling and how I'm looking and what I'm doing. And if, especially in lockdown, I'm not as productive as some people that I follow, I feel bad, and I just want to stop that. And I just want to be able to put my phone away and just be like, I'm fine, I'm not checking social media. The last thing is to have something to look forward to, which is something that is always so important for me, and which was one of the reasons that I was feeling so down during the first lockdown, was that all the plans that I had for that summer in terms of traveling and life plans and stuff like that were canceled, and not even like rescheduled. It was more likely canceled for the time being, just because we didn't know where we were going and how it was going to all happen. And so it was so hard. I felt like I had nothing to look forward to. And now I've learned that even the little things can really make a difference. For example, on Saturday I made cookies, and we have still some left, and so I'm like, I will be able to have a little cookie after lunch, or like for a snack, and it's delicious, and I'm going to be so happy. And it's just the little things. And for example, on Thursday when I arrived, I was like, I really want to take a bath tonight, and I took my bath, and for the entire afternoon I was like, I'm going to be taking my bath and it's going to be so nice. And I watched Downton Abbey, and it was great. And it can be anything. It can be going on a walk, it can be calling a friend or your parents, it can be cooking something, baking something, just watching an episode of the show that just came out. It really can be anything, but just try to focus on little things that you can look forward to and that can bring you some joy. I think that's the end of my list. I haven't thought of anything else since, but yeah, I'm just trying to do things differently right now and just try to be more positive. Now we're going to go make some lunch because I think it's 1 p.m. and I'm really hungry. I realized I forgot to end the video. I was so hungry, I forgot. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you are in lockdown or self-quarantining, is that even it could be a verb at this point. If you have any tips, if anything has been helping you, it could be really helpful for some people. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Should be a vlog, so stay tuned. Bye guys.